Hey everybody, and welcome to the second stream of this year. I'm starting a little late. I was doing a bit of research, I guess is the best thing you can call it. I always used to get frustrated when my devs were doing endless research. I'm trying to avoid doing too much of that. Trying to figure out tonight how to set the cooldown on the UI, and I still haven't really solved the problem. I have some ideas. I found one or two things on the interwebs, and I'll show you that. And I'm gonna just experiment a little bit and see how that goes for maybe 30 or 40 minutes. And if we get some success, that'll be fantastic. And if we don't, I apologize for that. What else? Brief chat about the industry. Seems to still be chaos out there. Pell World launched this week and was absolutely ridiculous. I think 5 million sales on pre-release on PC and Xbox. So they've done really well. There's a lot of controversy about the game. There's some claim that they've either blatantly ripped off Pokemon or used a lot of AI to create their product. I'm not sure. I saw some of the game. I don't know that there was necessarily AI used in large quantities in the creation of the game. There's certainly some overlap with Pokemon, but I think it's fair to say that it's Pokemon inspired and it's got its own flavor to it. I haven't played it myself, so I can't comment too much on what it's doing. But yeah, I think there is I suppose a case to be had, but several people pointed out the similarities between Pokemon and another anime style game or series, which I can't remember the name of now offhand. So we're inspired by other things. I think if every title was 100% unique, there would be far fewer titles. I think we build on top of each other's ideas and expand and grow and continue to innovate that way. Hasn't been, I think there's generally some new ideas, but there's no radical innovation where we go from 2D to 3D, for example, or something, similarly from old BSP style indoor environments to larger open world environments, which became more possible with GPUs and graphics hardware. So I think that there's something there, but for now let's celebrate the fact that there was a first breakout success game for the year, and all credit to them, and let's hope that it continues. Layoffs are still a mess. I think the number is over 6,000, and it's not even the end of January yet. I really don't understand that. I think the industry, in terms of financials, seems quite healthy, but I suspect that there was a glut of over-investment and over-hiring during the sort of latter part of COVID, and that's slowed down, and companies and stockholders, etc., are concerned about the runway of this over-hiring experience. But now they're kind of reversing that, and you're going to have projects getting cancelled and not enough resources on those projects, etc. So I think that we're seeing very reactive decision making. Certainly what I'm perceiving from the outside. Right, let's jump into some Unreal, and we're back to Unreal. Done with all the Unity stuff for a little while. I think I'll stream some of my VR work when I start on that from next week. I think the assignments are available from next week, so I'll probably start on that somewhere around next week, and I'll stream some of that. And I've got to finish up the other assignments for the module that I was showing earlier on the stream. So we'll see how that goes. Let's do that. Let's put me on that side. Is that better? I feel like that's better. I think I should make that. I don't know. I can do that. Let's see if I can make that a little bigger. I feel like I'm a tiny little head in the corner of the screen. I don't know if I'm taking up too much space. Anyone can tell me that I'm taking up too much space. I don't think bothering anyone right now. So what I had to do firstly is I did a little bit of research on. I just searched for a cooldown timer in Unreal. I found this sample that a user. I'll close the image in a second, and then we can see which user it was kind enough to share his radial timer material. So he's using a material, and as far as I can figure out from his instructions, you set the threshold value, and that then applies the cooldown effect to the material in a sort of radial cooldown. I have no idea how to now get this actually applied to my scene or to my UI, and then I had to go and find all the places where that work was done. Here's a little post by Teurer, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'll try and remember to put the link to this post in my description later on, and then you can see that. So I've replicated that material. Let me just quickly show you what that looks like. So I've replicated the material, and let's zoom in a bit, and you can see there. So it takes a texture coordinate. Again, I'm not sure how this is working. This is, yeah, I don't know what some of these operations are doing, so I'd like to kind of experiment with it a bit and get a sense of how it's working and what it actually is doing this sort of masking of the red and the green, and then appending that back in, then doing a vector to radial value, which that much I can understand, sort of taking the UV position and turning it into a radial position. Doing some multiplication with gradient exponential, so there's again some values that I don't know what they're doing, radius and density. This parameter here, which I was setting at 1. Okay, I thought I had disabled notifications. Apparently Teams just ignores the fact that I tell it not to pop notifications on. Then you set the threshold, and there's two constant float values where it kind of does greater than, less than check, and does some more multiplications with the texture sample, which sets the final color and the opacity. So what that all means, I'm not 100% sure, and like I say, I don't yet know how to apply this to my UI. Alright, so then I had to go and figure out exactly how this UI works, and I still am not 100% sure of all the pieces, which is terrible because I built all of this and now I can't remember how I did some of it. But here I have these images, and if I recall correctly, let's just see. Okay, so I have this frame action, and I have the icon, and let's just see. That's all fine. I was also trying to figure out, which I never quite resolved that issue, why I have a bit of grayness in this particular frame. Okay, image 2, and yeah, so this, wait, I wonder, oh no, that's all the same, color and opacity is all the same. So it's very strange that if you remember that this frame has a bit of grayness over it, which I never could figure out. But essentially, what I want to have happen is when the icon is visible and it's the selected one, I want it to play a little animation of sorts that shows that you are blocked from casting. So in the player HUD, I can see I just want to get to the event graph for this. And let's go see, this is its event graph. It gets the player necromancer, then it gets the health percentage, the mana percentage, and the XP percentage, and it sets those values on the controls in the HUD. Then it fetches the hit level and adds one to that and sets those text values. That's to set the level on the opposite ends of the experience bar, and then it shows which spells you have active, and it sets the selected spell. So somewhere in here we now need to ask the player, let's go to the player, to give us your cooldown remaining, and if that value is greater than 0, then it must draw that material. So on the player, here is the spell cooldown calculation, which it checks if the cooldown is not ready. Then it must calculate the cooldown, and then it must set the cooldown to ready when the cooldown counter is greater than the cast cooldown, which is the spell's cooldown value. And then I just output to the screen the string. So when you're playing the game in debug mode, you can see that string that shows you what your cooldown values are. So that's kind of how it's calculating the cooldown. The cooldown ready flag is visible, but I don't know if it's public. It's editable in the blueprint. Excuse me, and these. Oh, this is visible outside. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a method for now, which I'm going to say. What is it going to be called? Say get cooldown or something. I don't know. Let's see. Add a function. Call it get cooldown, and it is going to output the cooldown. Let's say is on cooldown, and it's going to output the cooldown main, and that must be a float. Okay. Something else that I'm really wanting to do in not too distant future is start looking at which of these blueprints make sense to do in C++ and start replacing some of these things with C++ code. Alright, so there's our dying counter. We need our cast cooldown, that is a get, and we need our cast cooldown counter, and that's also a get. And then let's just swap them around because I like to do things somewhat in an orderly fashion. Subtract. Going to subtract, and we are going to subtract you from you. Now that's interesting. The subtract still does not actually. Oh wait, so I can put you on there. Right. Now I'm not going to do the check again because the check has already been done. And this actually needs to be a a not, because we want to say that you are being cooled down. So where's the boolean not? There, boolean not. We'll turn that as cooldown. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work as expected. I hope so. Okay, that's that little function there. So the compile it. Okay, it seems happy. So now in the HUD, we need to do something like from the player. Oof, this is spaghetti. It's terrible spaghetti. From the player, we want to say get cooldown. Okay. So we don't have to do all of that work in here. And that means oh, okay, I see. Alright, so we're going to take you into there. This is horrible spaghetti, isn't it? And take you back up there. Okay. And somewhere on here, oh dearie me. Okay, this is problematic. Let's put a branch in. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. This is really, really ugly. Let's go here. So branch. If it is on cooldown. Now, actually, I think I'm going to just set it the way it was. And go here and move you to there. Okay, good. And then from here, I'm going to move you in here. Gosh, this is terrible. And bring you to here. So, okay, if you are on cooldown, then this set selected spell. Okay, so we need another function which is going to be set spell cooldown, which isn't going to do anything yet. I don't know yet what we're going to do with it, but we'll see in a minute. Okay, and then here we're going to go set spell cooldown. Alright, and I'm not going to do that. That link can be broken. Alright. Okay, that's not anything important. Okay, let's see. Right. Okay, so we now need to go and do something with this. Now, if I had a look at this HUD, and I wonder if I can actually access this this icon and opacity. I don't know if I can do it maybe at the overlay level. Can I do it at the overlay level? Is it transform? Icon image frame action. So what I want to just do, just as a test, and I don't know how easy or hard that's going to be for me to figure out how to get at that. Okay, so this has these frames, and that is the active color, and this is an array of images. So let's pull you in here, and let's take a look at I want to get one of them out. Can I index it? And that gives me the last index. I need to get one of these images out. I want to do a for each because I know which one is. Hang on, I can probably figure that out by looking at the set selected spell. For each, set brush tones, specified color, select color, tint color. There's a get, right? So the get gets an array and an index. Okay, so let's go take a look. Oops, I want to be there, I want to be here, and I'm going to go here, and let's just do a get. Is that? Yeah. Okay. Selected spell. Yep, okay, that's cool. So we want an integer input, which we'll do here. So let's go here. So, input, and that is an integer. Okay. So where is it at? There. Do I have to do the minus one? I think so. This is automatic. Alright, I'm not fiddling with this thing because it's not making me happy to be so ugly. Okay, and now I have an image, I guess. So what can I do on an image object? I can set color. There we go. You can set the color and opacity. Okay, that requires this piece, and then I'm going to add another input here. I'm going to add float. cooldown, and that is that. And this I'm going to have to do something with. So the cooldown is going to be a value. Oh, buggers. Okay, so I'm going to do this as a I'm going to go in here. I'm going to return this as a percentage and not as a as a physical value. So that means I need to come here and I need to divide. I suppose I can do a safe. I don't know if it's going to be safe, but like that. Wow, that's so awful. And then that should give me a value between 0 and 1. So now I'm just going to rename this to a cooldown percentage. It's okay. I think I know what it is, so it's terrible for anyone else who has to figure this out later. Good. So now I have that cooldown as a percentage, which means it's a value between 0 and it's inverted because it's remaining. So I've literally got to go and say take the amount remaining and I invert it again. That's so bad. Alright, so let's go here. And we want it to be okay. Check that, so I'm going to make a color, so I'm going to make a color now. Let's make a color. Okay. And I'm going to do a get color. I'm going to take these two values and what are we going to do? We're going to multiply them. Okay, so this one on the bottom, this one on the top. Who knows whether this is going to work? And that goes in there. Okay, so it's probably going to go all wonky, but let's first see. I don't want it to be red. That's what I do. And so I'm going to take this. I'm going to go 1 minus. That doesn't have that. It does not have that. That's a material property. Okay. Oh, I can just do a subtract, right? So I can do subtract. And actually I'm going to take you and put you in the bottom. make this link, set this to 1, and then put you on the opacity. And break this link. Okay, so in theory, we know about theory and practice already, that's going to work. So we want the selected spell to go in there, and we want the cooldown remaining to go in there. And then we'll see whether it works or not. Okay, I just want to bring the main UI window down. Oh, of course, it's now behind. It's very weird that this window always goes in front of this window, but it is what it is. One of the weirdnesses of the engine. Excuse me. And let's play. I don't have any coffee. That is terrible. Oh dear. Well, that broke a bunch of shit. Broke the frame. Yeah, it's broken that frame, and the frame is now no more. Huh, okay. That's problematic. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, let's go fetch these guys. Let's also fix that. I wonder why that is drawing it in such a weird place. I don't know why they draw in such weird places. I had this nice idea to put your roll when you roll a miss, to put your roll next to the. Oh dear, is that like not? Oh, okay. Now when it's selected, you can see that it's again disappearing the edges. Okay, so whatever I'm doing in that opacity setting is not doing what I'm expecting it to do. Huh. Now, okay. Alright, so that's definitely not behaving as expected, right? So let's go take a look at, oops, oh, that doesn't help. Let's go take a look here. I was busy with, actually here. Oh, let me just go take a look at this quickly first. We're busy here, and it was in this blueprint, and it's this piece here, which firstly is saying that it's setting this immediately, so even though there's no oh wait, set the cooldown initially, and the piece that it is doing. Okay, let's go take a look at this piece again. Okay, so it's dealing with the frame. How do I set the active spell. Let's go take a look at that. This is definitely one of those doing I've forgotten what I was doing, so now I don't remember what I was doing. Okay, so we take the selected one. Firstly we loop through, and the array element is our target, and we set the tint color to white. Alright, then when that is completed, we get the selected one and we set it to the specified color, which is the active color, and the active color is a purplish tint. It says make a slate color, which I don't know what that is. But then how does it show the spell item? Is it this one? Let's go take a look. If it is less than the length, set brush from texture, and G icon button. Oh, there's two different textures, right? It's actually two different textures. There are two different textures. Okay. And I still haven't been able to figure out how I set this up, because I'm completely flabbergasted by that. Is it in this widgets event? This is the widget editor input, blind widgets. No, that's the hierarchy editor input lists optimization. No, these are the palettes. That's the library. Details. Here's the graph. Alright, so let's go take a look at this graph. It doesn't do anything, does it? Foreground color. Here it. Okay. Let's go back to designer. See, I've completely forgotten how these things work, which is quite terrible. That sets up the images. So how does I? Whew, it has certainly been a long week. Okay, let's go take a look if there's anything in here. How you set up the HUD. I don't remember how to set up the HUD. Set destination input. It's probably in the game controller, right? It must be in the game controller. So let's go take a look at our content drawer. And game framework, enemy base, BP game mode. I think it's that. In here, bind event, restart player, somewhere in here, I think is where we set up our HUD. It's got to be somewhere, right? Or is it in the top-down controller? So this thing has only that. It doesn't have any other pieces that it's dealing with. So I'm going to close you. Let's go back to the top-down controller. Does it have anything in the construction? It sets the minion to summon to the skeleton. So that's just so you summon skeletons at the start. So it's not that. This piece just sets which minion is summoned based on the selected spell. Okay, and Okay, so how does this get? There's another piece of event graph. Begin play, event begin play. Okay, so this gets called at the start, and that's you set this up on one of the settings on player. Okay. Alright, then we get that and make an array, and that is where we get our frames from. Okay, so that helps. Now we've got our frames, and that is frame action 1, which is from the HUD. So now if we go into our HUD and take a look at frame action 1, there is frame action 1. So frame action 1 is, yes, okay. I'm wondering, this feels like a bit of a hack, but bear with me while I test out a theory. I'm going to add an image in here. Okay, and we're going to call that cooldown overlay. What do you think? No, it's not changing the name. Oh, there we go. Okay, so call that the cooldown overlay. That's alright, I guess. 1. Okay, and I am going to take this one's color and opacity, and we're going to set it to 0 there, and let's just, for the sake of making our lives easier, make it red but fully transparent. So it shouldn't. Oh, okay. Why is it there? Let's go see. Stretch and middle. So middle and stretch. No. Middle and stretch. Okay, that's fine for now. But not great. Okay, let's go do that. Okay, that's alright. So then we can make it. I wonder if I can use the material here. I don't know. Let's see. No, let's be annoying. Okay. that was not what I wanted to do. Ah, dearie me. Okay. One foot in front of the other, I guess. 17. Offset. Okay. Now what? Okay, let's make you fit, but I'm going to pad you. Okay. Okay. 30 is too small. 40 is too small. There's 60. 60. 20. 20. Okay. Alright, I don't know what that's going to do. Or what that's going to look like. What I'm going to just do in here is I'm going to go back a little bit. And spell cooldown. Okay, this is actually, pretty sure this is actually inverted. It should be true when it's not on cooldown. Cooldown ready. No, I think that is, it is, I think that was right. Okay, so this is they're debugging again. Breakpoint, right? If we could put a breakpoint there. This is going to be terrible. This is really going to be terrible. Let's see what happens. Now we're immediately there. So what is this? Is on cooldown. We are on cooldown. That is correct. Cooldown remaining 95, which is correct because we set the cooldown when the game starts. So I think that is. I think it's actually correct. Just try and get the that piece switched off, and let's resume play. Okay, so we still have this little problem, and that material is not showing anything. So I feel like that's okay. This machine is really not enjoying it when I'm running units, Unreal in the editor mode. Okay, so now in our blueprint we should be setting, if it is true, in here we're going to give a variable, and for now I'm just going to make it the cooldown overlay. We're going to change that. That is a, I don't know if we can set a variable of type image. Let's see. Okay, it seems to be alright. It seems to accept that as an option. And we'll go into our event graph. And in this piece here, we're going to go and get cooldown array get nope. Oh wait, I think I need to do something else. I have this weird half memory that it needs to be set as a variable. Okay, so now it's set as a variable, and I'll probably have to compile it. And save and compile, and then when I come in here, I should now be able to get cooldown 1. Alright. Okay, so I get that. And go set cooldown, and that's going to be that. There we go. And now okay, we'll see. In here, instead of setting the frames, we're going to go. We're not worried about that. Oops, at the moment, which is okay. Still have our color. No. Now we want to do something else. We have this value, so we're going to set that. I'm going to go. Now I wonder if I can get to that material from here. So I'm going to go get. So I'm going to do that. Get you over here, get you, alright. And then I'm going to try and cast you. Cast to that. Here we are. Okay, so how am I supposed to set that variable? Can I cast this? No, I can't cast that. Okay, so I'm a little bit stumped by how I'm supposed to set that threshold value on that material. How am I supposed to work with that threshold value on the material? I've got the overlay. I don't know if that is what I am getting. I've got the actual UI object, so what else can I do with it? I don't know, what can I get? Get clipping, get accessible text, get, okay, those are fairly, get render opacity, get pixel rendering, render transform, navigation, localization, layout, behaviors, appearance, brush, time, utilities, object, as a date. Okay, we don't want anything that's animation related. So it feels like it's the right thing. It feels like it's the thing that I actually need. So I get the material, but now I have the material, so what can I do with the material? Set. Can I set a parameter? Ah, there we go. Set scalar parameter value. Yeah, I think that was right. Parameter name. Oh. Threshold value is cooldown. Don't know. No. Oh, no, I don't want to do that anymore, so that can go. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Let's see what happens. Alright. Cooldown is set, but there's no overlay thing happening there, right? Let's go back into our player HUD blueprint. Let's put a breakpoint there. It hasn't stopped yet, so that means that it hasn't hit that code. Okay. Alright. Do I step? Is that the step? Which I believe is the same as Visual Studio if I remember right. Okay, so we got a material. No entries match the search text. Value is 0.96. Okay. Let's go back here. Parameters, threshold. And the parameter, the threshold is at 1. But so it should be finding it, right? Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to make this smaller and see what that does in the UI. Okay. Alright, let's remove that breakpoint because clearly that's not doing much for me. Okay, so the HUD is being displayed. Even though I've set that threshold, there's nothing happening there. Okay, so I'm not sure that what I'm doing is doing anything. But I'm starting to get a sense of how to do it. Oh crap, these are going to kill me. Ah, they're missing. Ooh, wow. Oh, there we died. Okay, we died. That's terrible. At least you can now restart. Let's so and so. Skellies, okay. These oaks are having a Okay, I really must fix that text. It's actually quite annoying. Okay, so the cooldown is sort of in the HUD. It's sort of in the code, but it's not actually triggering correctly. So A, I've got to debug that material, or I've got to find a different way to do it. So the material is one way to do it. And then B, I really want to fix the combat text. And once I've got the cooldown to do what I'm hoping that it does, then I'll have to implement the array strategy for now, because I can't think of a better way to do it. I really would like to see if I can improve the performance of this as well. So yeah, that is what I've managed to do tonight. I think there's progress, but it's not quite working yet. I'm sure that as I get back into this, and hopefully I'll spend more time on this in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to wrap my head around what is actually going on here, and how to make that UI behave in the way that I want it to behave. So I thank you all for listening to my rambling and my terrible Unreal skills. I am sure that there's many Unreal streamers that are doing a much better job of this than what I am. But thanks for listening to me ramble, and I hope to see you again on the next one, which won't be too far away. Have a great weekend, and see you all soon.